I decided to call my talk Reach for the Stars. But that's really only half of it. The full title of my little talk is Reach for the Stars and Almost Get There. I say that because perhaps we shouldn't set ourselves finite goals. We can always improve. We can always push for a little bit more. Always set yourselves challenges, and when you achieve that target, go on to the next one. If, by having my little TEDx talk today, I can inspire one of you or a few of you, it's been worth all of this by inspiring one or two or many of you today. I want to carry on by saying something that I profoundly believe in, that we are all equal. We were born equal, we will die equal, and in between our lives, we are all equal. No one, but no one is better than you, and no one is less than you. Perhaps the best way I can show you how I got my inspiration is to talk about, of all things obviously, my mother. My mother was a Turkish Cypriot peasant. She had no reading or writing. She had lived most of her life in a village. I am the product of an immigrant family to the United Kingdom. My father went off trying to earn us a living. We were not well off, we were quite poor, but eventually he made enough money to send tickets for us. And my mother, in the early 50s, with a 2-year-old, myself, my sister 4 years old, my brother 7 years old, that little woman had the courage, and she knew what she wanted, she knew what her star was. She packed us up, got us on a boat, managed to get us to Genoa, and from Genoa on a train to Calais, and from Calais on a boat again, then on a train again, and eventually hoping she would see her husband in Victoria Station, which he was there, so our life starts from there. What an honorable dream. What an honorable way of reaching for the stars. Everybody reaching for their stars may have different targets. It could be somebody sweeping the streets saying, I want to sell pretzels from my own stall, simit. That's reaching for their stars. Everybody has their own goals and should go for it. My life, I suppose, starts in England at that time. I was very young. I was sent to school at 4 or 5 years old, and it was discovered that I could draw. Because I could draw, they put me in special classes for drawing, 2 or 3 years older than myself. And my life was set then. From that age, it was set that I was going to do art. And at that age, I fell in love with art. From then on, my target was to do something in art. Of course, at 5 years old, you want to draw Mickey Mouse cartoons, but that changed to painting and then eventually to sculpture. I worked through those years because we couldn't afford much. My father always told me I should become a mechanic because it's an honorable job. Yes, it is a very honorable job, but my target was something else. While I was a student, I worked by stacking shelves in my uncle's market, and then I suppose I was promoted to washing dishes, and from dishes to being a waiter, and then lying about my age and becoming a barman. But eventually, my target, my star, was university to study art. I did that. I managed to get there, still working at weekends. But they were good steps. I'd like to say that they were all the steps of my own ambition, my own stars that I was reaching for. They were honorable actions to do. And I'd like to state at this point even amongst you now, there will be some phenomenal people coming out of even this group, not even this group. There will be here people that will go way beyond their expectations of themselves. There will be waiters here and people helping to show your seats. They will be anything they want to be and they can be. They may be the next Gandhi. They may be the next president of Turkey or of Cyprus. They can do whatever, if they want to, if they reach for it, if they persevere, they can do it. All of you can take those steps forward. All of you must see your own potential and believe in yourselves that you can do it, and you will take those steps. You will fall back one step, go 3 steps forward. Never take no for an answer. Always treat people well. Do it honestly and truly, true from your heart, you can get there. I've just stated that I eventually managed to graduate. At that point, when I graduated, I switched halfway through because coming from such a poor family, I knew that I'd be a poor artist. I was probably not that talented. And I didn't want to be a teacher. And I apologize to all the teachers, and there are many teachers here, but I didn't want to be one. So I switched to industrial design, interior design, and furniture manufacture. But during this time, another profound moment happened to me. I came to Cyprus for a holiday. I didn't even remember anything. I didn't know Turkish. Don't know much Turkish now, but I didn't know Turkish. I came to Cyprus, and I was profoundly affected by what I saw. I couldn't believe that I was born on this island. You've got to remember, I came from the concrete streets of East London, and I fell in love with it instantly and promised myself that one day I would come back. Having said that, I'll go back to what happened that made me and gave me the opportunity to come back to Cyprus. I was in a pub in Islington with a friend who happened to be in the gaming industry. By that time, 74 had come and gone, and he said to me, you know, we have opportunities in Cyprus. We're young, we can go and we can do things there. And he said, have you thought about casinos? I said, no, I didn't even know anything about casinos. But you know, we could go there, maybe we'd get a license, we could get rich and do all that sort of thing. I said, okay, let's do it. We came to Cyprus, we looked around, we told people the logic of what we were saying, which would bring tourism and people to the island. And at that time, the island was almost deserted. And through a lot of effort, and no little bullshit, excuse my French, we managed to get the license. By the way, that friend who was involved in this business fell by the wayside, but I got a license. I was £1,300 in debt, a license, no money, nothing. But I found an investor. With that investor, we opened up a casino and eventually the hotel. Now, you may consider that a sin, many of you, but some of you should consider it a blessing for this island. Because of those actions in Islington, and this is the knock-on effect, those actions of my friend and I, we were 25 years old, we have created jobs for tens of thousands of people in Cyprus, and many tens of thousands. We profoundly affect the gross national product of this island. And it started in that pub in Islington. So you may be having a glass of wine or a beer tonight and start something that will take you almost to the stars. Do it. With that start that I had in life, I can come to this present day, and the group that I'm the head of, we are now a company operating out of 10 countries, 4 in Africa, 2 in the Arab states, Turkey, UK, here. We employ over 1,800 people. That's a lovely feeling for me that you can provide for these people. But I must say, with all this material success, I always felt that I had an empty side of me, because there was still the 5-year-old that loved to draw. So at some point in my life, with the material success, I decided to do certain things. One was that if I couldn't do art, maybe I could collect art. I surprised myself by managing to purchase one Auguste Rodin sculpture. I'm still surprising myself. I'm still reaching for those stars, almost getting there. And now I have one of the named collection of the world, and they are in this little town. And this little town very shortly will have a permanent museum for these pieces, open to all of you and all the public to come and see. That wasn't enough for me though. I thought, I want to do more. So I hatched the idea of an art college in Cyprus, the classical art college. But we found out in time that a classical art college might not be successful. You have to give a degree with it, and suddenly we had an ambition for a university. It seems we've succeeded. I'd like to remind you people why a university in such a small town, such a small community. I'll give you the example of Athens, 2,500 years ago. It had a population of about 140,000, of which 40,000 were slaves. Of those 100,000, over the centuries, over the years, they have come to profoundly affect our view of art, culture, democracy, politics, that is still reverberating today and carrying on to the future. When I'm reaching for my stars, and I'm reaching for the stars, I'm saying, why can't I do the same here? Why can't this community here, in the not in terms of tens of years or decades, maybe in 100 years, but why could we not profoundly affect the way people think? Even our own people. Quite rightly, after 1974, these people that were suddenly more freer were more concerned about their material wealth, where their Mercedeses, their BMWs, their villas and the pools, quite rightly. But I also felt that something was missing, and this is my little action to try and change that. I hope that one day ARUCAD, Arkin University of Creative Arts and Design, will be mentioned in the same sentence as the Royal College of Art, Goldsmiths, Rhode Island Institute, St. Martin's, Slade School, and the like. Why not? Because I am reaching for my stars, and I can reach those stars almost, I think. I'd like to, at this point, state the motto of the university. And the motto of the university here is, art and civilization are one. With art comes beauty and civilization. With civilization comes tolerance and unity. And unity brings peace. And we need that here. Why shouldn't this college produce a Rodin, a Titian, a Picasso, a Manet? They were all Mediterraneans doing their art. There may be amongst you some great artists that will be world renowned. I believe in you. Do it. Reach for your stars, all of you. I'll conclude today with another thing that we're trying to do, again reaching for the stars, trying to almost get there, is that we've started a competition for a 40-meter statue to be erected behind this college up on the mountain. I got the inspiration from Christ the Redeemer in Rio de Janeiro. When I was looking at it, I was thinking, why can't we do something like that? Of course we can do it. We're not reinventing the wheel. We can use our own technology. And we have instigated a competition where we will go on the long road, and a very long road, of trying to get it established and made. I have to go to presidents. I have to go to prime ministers. I have to go We have to try and get the roads built. We have to get the electricity up there. We have to have a political desire to do this. We have just started on this road. It's a long road, but I feel that we will get there. I feel, for many reasons, that it will put not the north, but the whole island on the map. I feel it will put our college on the map, and it will be here, we hope, as long as the college is 150 years' time. I'm hoping that in 10 years' time, if we get to construct it, the first thing you'll see when they refer to Cyprus is that, the noble Cypriot peasant. Not Greek, not Turkish, not Armenian, but the noble Cypriot peasant. I thank you today, as a boy from East London, and for letting me try and reach my stars, or almost getting there. Thank you very much.